500 residents of Obom in the South municipality left homeless after a private developer demolishes their place of abode. Members of Parliament agreed to have only 13 persons serve on a transition team when an incumbent president is re-elected. And young climate activists embark on a peaceful march to protest the establishment of a coal power plant in Ghana by a Chinese company. We have all these and more coming up. Do stay with us. In our first story, over 500 residents of Obom Kojonto community in the South municipality of the Greater Accra region have been rendered homeless following the destruction of their houses by a team of armed police officers. Reports say the team of police personnel came without warning at dawn 10 days ago, with a man claiming to be acting on a court order to demolish the houses. The residents say the man claims he owns vast sections of the land that make up the community. Here's a report by Seth Kwame-Boateng.
Homeless and restless. They have lived here for decades. They are mainly peasant farmers. Their huts and thatched houses share a common piece of land with their farms. Without warning, and just before daybreak at 4:30 a.m., these residents were deprived of their huts and thatched houses bequeathed to them by their great-grandparents. They were deeply asleep when a team of police officers stormed their community with a bulldozer and asked them to pack out of their homes. Those homes were reduced to rubble in minutes. Esther Ahianyo is a mother of 6. Her last born is still breastfeeding. Esther and her husband owned 2 bedrooms, but now they have lost all and have been compelled to start life from the scratch. Even finding food to feed herself and the children is now a difficulty.
They
did not even notify us they were coming to pull down our structures. I was there with my husband, my 6 children and my parents. I was completely shattered when it happened. I had my kids around me and I was only crying and crying. It was drizzling and our things were left at the mercy of the weather. I stayed in the rain with my breastfeeding baby. We have nothing now. Even what to eat is a problem.
There are scores of elderly people here in the Kojonto village left to struggle in their thoughts about how and where to find food for themselves and their dependents. An additional burden now is where to lay their heads. This old man, who recently celebrated his 100th birthday, was equally not spared. His voice quakes as he tells me he now begs to eat.
I had 4 rooms, but they have destroyed all. Now strangers have to offer me food before I can have something to eat. I wish the government could find us a place to rest our heads and think. I can't even sleep. Anytime I get food, I'm not able to even eat much.
According to the assemblyman for this area, Charles Tay, the original owners of the land entrusted it in the care of this old man and his family. So Mr. Tai explains what led to the controversy that triggered the destruction of property.
The father of Ataja, he owns the land. Then he gave the land to the old man you spoke with. The old man's father.
Okay.
You see, the old man's father. And then the Ataja's father died. And now the Ataja is taking control. Then he also sold the whole thing to one Makati, the commercial farmer. They came as a peasant farmers. They operate in a term they call Adodi. You farm where you get some to you, then the landlord share. By this man came and have a huge money. He has money to give. Maybe I'm paying you for 20 years. So he look a bulk money. So the landlords are now preferring that one to the other system they used to operate before.
Away from Obom, let's do something education related. Tertiary students on vacation in all 6 public universities could have their holidays extended following threats by the University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG to strike. UTAG has petitioned the presidency to order the appropriate agencies to pay them their remaining 10 months salary arrears. Failure to comply which will see them lay down their tools. In an interview with City FM, the National Vice President of UTAG, Kakraba Bakubo, noted that the students should not bother to show up when school reopens if government does not meet their demands. Well, let's get onto the phone lines now and speak to the president of UTAG, Dr. Anthony Simmons, for some more information on the intended strike. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so tell us why are you why threatening to go on strike at this time when universities are about reopening?
Well, it looks as if in this country, the only language maybe the powers that be understand is only when you threaten a strike action that people start responding to your letters and your demands. And we all know that we had a 4-time installment payment for our 16-month arrears. As I talk to you, the whole schedule the whole payment is behind schedule. And therefore, we've been written to inform them, the authorities and all the powers that be. We've been sending reminders and we've been calling, on a personal one-on-one basis. But yet nothing is being done. So, we have decided that is the appropriate time for us to take action to get the money.
Won't further dialogue rather help the situation than a strike? Because the first semester, which should be opening soon, usually doesn't last as long as the second semester. So there are concerns that the academic period or calendar might be disrupted.
Well, we are not on strike yet, isn't it?
Yes, but you're threatening should government not meet your demands.
Yes, but let me inform you that somewhere around May ending, I prompted the General Secretary, the Executive Secretary to VC Ghana about the way they are handling the payment. That is the first signal we gave them. That means that we wanted a smooth running of the whole system. Okay. Then on the 20th of June, we wrote a letter also to VC Ghana, and then another one on the same 20th of June to the Chief Executive, Fair Wages, on our book and research allowance, complaining about the same issues. Do you know that no one responded to these letters? Okay. And people did not, they did not talk about these issues. And so we met again, I think 2 weeks or so after this meeting. That was last Friday or so. And then decided, no, it wasn't Friday, it was Thursday, no, Wednesday, sorry. And then decided that, we've been reminding them, what action do we take again? I personally recall that I've spoken to some ministers on this same issue, and they promised that they're going to get back to you, and nothing happens.
And that includes the education minister too?
Come again?
I'm asking, does that include the education minister and her deputies?
Yeah, the deputy.
Okay.
I've been speaking with him.
Okay.
And then the employment and labor relations, we've been chatting on this course.
Okay.
When you chat, yes, it's a friendly, cordial chat. They promise to work, but nothing comes out of it. Okay? Now tell me, when pressure is mounting and you prompt people that this is the situation and nothing is being done, and all campuses are on you as the leader that do something, what do? So we sent a letter to National Labour Commission that we need to take the appropriate steps. We need to inform National Labour Commission that if these things are not, addressed, then this is the situation we'll find ourselves. So this is exactly what UTAG has done.
So
but fortunately, I just had a call that we have a letter from National Labour Commission.
Okay.
And so maybe tomorrow they will serve us that letter. I don't know what will come out of the court. So this is where we find ourselves.
But you don't know the contents of the letter yet?
I don't know because I've not received it. I'm in Takwa.
Okay.
They are in Accra.
And when are the universities due to reopen specifically?
In August.
In August. So how soon are you expecting to hear from government or get your grievances addressed?
We stated that the communique that we signed, okay, the last payment is to be done at the end of
July.
July.
Okay.
So we're expecting that by July ending, all arrears, and we mean all, should be given to us.
Okay. All right.
And again, we have another grievance on the book and research, which will also be settled.
Okay. All right. So, which means that if by the end of July you still haven't had your grievances addressed, then it means in August, school may not reopen at all because you'll be on strike.
School may reopen because we don't have that power, isn't it?
Okay, but you will not be there for the students.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony Simmons, for your time. And we do hope that the letter from the Labour Commission, as he says, really gets to address their grievance. But let's move away from education. Now, members of Parliament have agreed to have only 13 persons serve on a transition team when an incumbent president is re-elected. President Mahama appointed a 22-member team to manage the transition into the present administration. On March 16, 2012, Ghana's Parliament approved the Presidential Transition Act 2012, that's Act 845, which provides for the appointment of a transitional team to manage the transfer of power after general elections in December. A year after the law's passage, the Institute of Economic Affairs, with some select committees of Parliament, reviewed aspects of the Presidential Transition Act 845 and proposed amendments. The Administrator General is to be empowered to demand from government agencies and ministries the state of government assets. The committees maintained the 7th January date for the swearing-in of a president. The committee will follow recommendations to Parliament for the House to take a decision. Now, the police administration has directed the transfer of all officers of the Sunyani Motor Traffic Transport Unit (MTTU) over their alleged involvement in corrupt practices. The officers were alleged to have extorted various sums of money from commuters, particularly those who ply the Techimambuipe Road. Director General of the MTTU, ACP Awungbotege Awuni, announced this in while addressing officers there.
Input which led to success at a
The purpose of the to interact with personnel from the MTTU to find out their challenges and how to solve them. Due to lack of staff and infrastructure, the Upper West region has 7 district police administrations instead of matching with the 10 local government administrative districts. The case of the MTTU is even worse. Due to low numbers, they are only confined to the Wa municipality. Upper West Regional Commander ACP Kwesi Mensa Duku laid bare the challenges they're grappling with.
We have problem with the tri-circuit. Now people are using the tri-circuit to carry pessimists. Yesterday we discussed with the regional minister and the gas secretary and the rest of the and the decision was that we should try and educate them, we should start with the education, educate them before maybe we start making start with the enforcement.
Director General of the MTTU of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Angobotoge Awene, attributed the recent high corruption index of the police service to bad behavior of personnel from the MTTU. He laid out measures to rid the service of such bad conducts and subsequently announced the transfer of the entire Sunyani MTTU team.
I have just announced the transfer of every MTU officer in Sunyani, from the commander to the last constable. I've transferred all of them. I've asked them that they should wait for a vehicle. Because there are allegations of corruption as far as members of the police service are concerned, especially within the Kintampo Teshiman to Gupe stretch, has been a matter of concern, and the IGP is not happy at all.
He warned the officers in Wa to reform their mode of operation in the discharge of their duties. Rafiq Salam filed this report from Wa.
Let's go back to the Bunahafo region, because even as the passport office in Accra continues to witness dawn queues, offices in other parts of the country report low patronage. In Sunyani, for instance, the passport center receives only 45 to 50 applications daily. Nessa Kafia Juma has more.
The passport center in Sunyani is less busy as compared to the centers in other regions. Processing of passport applications here, whether fresh or renewal, takes not more than a month. Officials of the center who declined to speak on camera told Joy News that the only challenge delaying the process of passport applications is the difference in the names of the applicants on their birth certificates and the voter ID cards. Our cameras captured these few applicants patiently waiting to take delivery of their passports. Most of them shied away as our correspondent requested an interview. This young man, who pleaded anonymity, had some concerns relating to some fees being charged by the officers.
Actually, the process was kind of fast-paced. When I came around, I just did less than 30 minutes and I was through with the process. But I had a concern, sort of, at a point at the counter, I was demanded to make a payment of 10 cedis before I can continue with my registration renewal process. But then the 10 cedis they demanded of, according to them, it was customary for anyone who comes to this particular office to make such payments. And I declined paying that particular 10 cedis. And though I went through with the registration process without paying that particular 10 Ghana cedis, but I observed 2 or 3 people who made that particular payment, which I know under normal circumstances you are not supposed to make any other extra payment once you purchase your form and your documents are all right.
The official of the center again declined to react to this allegation. He claimed to have no authorization to speak. Nesta Kafuya Jomes report for Joy News.
Still in the Bunahafo region, a 41-year-old businessman at Arowa in the Techiman municipality, Kwabena Yeboah, has allegedly been killed by some members of the Sunyani police patrol team. Reports say the police, who were chasing a taxi driver at top speed, knocked down the deceased at Arowa and absconded.
The police, who were using a private car for the operation, initially took refuge at Arowa police station, but after sensing danger took to their heels. According to eyewitnesses, the police were speeding with a taxi and could not brake early enough to save the deceased. The eyewitness said the police vehicle hit the back of the motorbike of the man, who was pronounced dead shortly after reaching the Techiman Holy Family Hospital. The furious youth of Arowa bent the car belonging to the policemen beyond recognition. Speaking to Joy News, the chief of Arowa, Nana Yeboah Kokwa III, said that this is the 4th death in 2.5 years under a similar circumstance.
Timber market for and I see. I'm saying, yeah, media, me pass by and say, a police for no, Timber base operation, government vehicle, more private cars, and a DSI man. Timidia, ya me pass by and say, Obeshomo, Nanka, time on Bayu operation, we are saying, police car, no more fine.
A sub-chief of Arowa, Nana Ntieje, pleaded with the government to halt the activities of the Sunyani police in the Techiman municipality. The police at Arowa would not speak to Joy News because they said the accused policemen are from Sunyani. The deceased left behind a wife and 5 children. Nesta Kafuya Jomer's report for Joy News.
You're watching the Midday News here on Joy News on Multi TV. We take a breather. We'll be back with some more stories. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, the Executive Director of the Narcotics Control Board, Kwesi Sapong, has given further details on 11 persons arrested on Friday for attempting to smuggle drugs out of the country. The 11 were apprehended by the Bureau of National Investigations, or BNI, and Narcotics Control Board officials for their alleged involvement in the shipment of 250 kilograms of marijuana or Indian hemp to the United Kingdom. Those arrested include Sam Yeboah, a manager of Ghana Perishable Cargo Center, Edmond Mensah Isilfi, and Joel Osei Boateng, both freight forwarders of the ESS Foray Ventures. The names of the other suspects were not given for security reasons. The parcels of marijuana were found concealed in 10 boxes containing yams at Heathrow Airport. The discovery of the drugs at Heathrow Airport sparked a serious controversy between the NACOP and Air Ghana operators of the Ghana Perishable Cargo Center's shippers of the boxes that were found to contain the marijuana. The Executive Secretary said investigations were ongoing, but henceforth all cargo from Air Ghana would go through the central scanner, emphasizing, quote, "We don't want surprises like this anymore. After using their own scanner, they have to go through the central scanner before the goods are sent out of the country." Those arrested have been placed in custody at the BNI cells to assist in investigations into the issue. Now, Vice President Kwesi Bekoin AmissahArthur on Sunday left Accra for Abuja, Nigeria, to attend a special summit of the African Union. A statement issued by the Office of the Vice President said the summit, which ends on Tuesday, July 16, would focus on HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. The summit is on the theme Ownership, Accountability, and Sustainability of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria response in Africa, past, present, and future. The statement said the summit will also look at the status of maternal, newborn, and child health on the continent, as well as efforts aimed at achieving the health-related Millennium Development Goals and defining Africa's health priorities as the dialogue for the post-2015 development agenda unfolds. Though second-hand refrigerators have been banned, the market is still flooded with the products. Importers and dealers are determined to recover monies spent to import the fridges before the ban took effect in January this year.
Dealers are still in business as displayed fridges continue to attract buyers. Some importers and dealers explained to Joy News they are still selling stock they imported before the ban was enforced. According to them, authorities gave a 6-month grace period to enable dealers clear goods at the port.
The outstanding ones that are at the port that we're trying to do, even though it's not easy. I don't see the need why I should risk an import and have my goods only to be seized at the port, and you go through these hectic processes to retrieve your things. So we are not importing anymore. Importer
and dealer Felix Insian, whose goods are mainly from the UK, complained the ban has not only resulted in price hikes but has also affected orders made prior to the ban.
Local recycle place in the area, so dealers. It's one who buy the deposit. But take some time and on Saturday. I can't. There's no way on Sabacan no man. You can't come my best chance on Saka. The Bruno Jews cannot. The only two if that be case, then Safa no Mafro.
The dealers say they are not happy with the government's decision to ban second-hand fridges and argue the products are convenient for low-income earners.
This very one, I bought it for $580. I checked with the stores for the brand new one, and the amount was ranging from $1,500 to $1,800. Compared to this one, it's economically good. With the new ones they are selling, what I learned from them is that it comes with a stabilizer, inbuilt stabilizer. 2 years ago, I bought one for myself. I bought a stabilizer to pattern it, and it's working.
Authorities have said they want to phase out second-hand fridges because brand new ones are energy efficient. But this dealer believes this is not good enough reason to deprive the masses of what they can actually afford.
If I'm able to buy my old fridge and then buy my credit on my from ECG, let's say if I buy 10,000, I'm supposed to use my 10,000. It doesn't concern anybody how much I run my electricity. The new fridges that they are bringing it in, that they say they call it brand new fridge, is it quality? Is it going to favor Ghanaians? Right now, Ghanaians need quality. We don't need anything inferior. You consider the Ghanaians first before you consider outsiders.
The dealers are confident second-hand fridges are more durable compared to brand new ones and are challenging authorities to put their theory to test.
Let's do something education related now. Authorities at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology say they will soon introduce e-learning system to provide greater access to higher education in the country. According to authorities, this would solve the university's inability to admit more qualified students annually. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin sent in this report.
Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is one of the first choice universities of students seeking quality education in Ghana. As a result, the university receives numerous applications each academic year from qualified students nationwide. Next year, it is likely the university would receive double applicants compared to previous years as a result of the 2 batches of the senior high school students who graduated May this year.
Every year, as a policy, we increase the number of students that we would admit for the year in question. And we think that this year would look at it from that perspective. But a lot depends upon the facilities that we are trying to put together and the resources that we get to complete those facilities.
On admission requirements, the registrar said the institution does not determine the cutoff points for applicants. He says the university is also looking at the e-learning system as another gateway for potential students.
We're also looking at the possibility of the creation of e-learning platform, but that involves a lot of financial outlay, and we are in discussion with government and other stakeholders to see how best we can help. So we are looking at all the options available, but we cannot say that we'll be able to admit over and above our capacity.
Kobi Yabo Okra appealed to parents to exercise restraint since the university will do its best to provide admission to as many students as possible. He also appealed to the government and Get Fund to support the institution in the areas of infrastructure.
Now let's go to the presidency, where President John Mahama will this afternoon meet with the economic management team to further review the measures rolled out to deal with the existing economic challenges government has admitted to, despite its insistence that Ghana's economy is doing well. Meanwhile, the president is said to be satisfied with the results of its previous economic interventions, such as the establishment of the task force to block leakages in revenue mobilization. The president will later in the day hold discussions with the African Development Bank on its interventions in education, health and infrastructure in the country. Deputy Information and Media Relations Minister Murtala Mohammed, who addressed today's media briefing, said in the context of a troubled global economy, Ghana's performance is a success story.
His Excellency the President will be having a discussion with the economic management team. Meanwhile, His Excellency the President is pleased with the measures put in place, in fact, to revamp the economy. You remember that after cabinet meeting, sometimes some measures were put in place which was announced to you, measures to close the loopholes with regards to revenue mobilization. His Excellency the President is pleased with the measures, even though he's also mindful of the challenges that come with the measures. But regardless how those challenges are, we still think that the measures are important, because that is one surest way that we can be able to improve the economy. So he'll be having some discussions with the economic management team this morning. The other issue in line with that has to do with the meeting he'll be having with the African Development Bank, and they will be discussing many issues. The African Development Bank has a lot of projects that they are assisting Ghana, projects that border on education, projects that border on health and some aspects of infrastructure development in this country. It is also important to state that the West African gas pipeline is now resolved, it's on stream. They have indeed started supplying, and Asogolo is producing about 150 megawatts. It is our hope and believe that in the distant, maybe within the shortest possible time, they should be able to produce on full scale. So these are the three issues that we'll be looking at today. If we can take some few questions, if that.
Meanwhile, government has congratulated the Black Satellites for their performance at the just-ended Under-20 World Cup tournament in Brazil. Away from the Black Satellites and the presidency, students of Odumase Presbyterian Junior High School in the Lower Manyakrobo municipality of the Eastern region are appealing to government and other benevolent organizations to help them reconstruct the school's collapsed fence wall. The students say several appeals to the municipal assembly have fallen on deaf ears. Correspondent Haruna Yusuf Wumpani sent in this report.
The Odumase Presbyterian Junior High School was established in 1888 as a Basel Mission Primary School. Over the years, the school buildings has become totally dilapidated. The school was upgraded to a junior high school status in 1946 and since then had seen no refurbishment since 2009 when Airtel assisted by reconstructing the school buildings and providing it with a fence wall. Some pupils of the school spoke to Joy News.
There was a day that we were standing there praying. After we left there for a minute, the building has collapsed, the wall has collapsed there. So please, we need a help from you people. If only you can help us, we will be grateful.
The MCA told us to build the wall for us, make the wall for us. They came, he did it, but there was no pillars inside. So for some time, it gets collapsed. Sometimes we will be praying there, we stand there, but before we leave there, then it will fall. It nearly kills some of us, but by the grace of God, we live. So we are dealing with the MCA to help us.
Speaking to Joy News, the head teacher said Nene Aite said his outfit had written several letters to the Lower Manya Municipal Assembly concerning the collapsed fence wall, but have had no response. He made a desperate appeal for help.
Though we are here, we know that though the facilities are here, but we need more. We need, especially the classrooms. So we are appealing that people must listen to our cry.
Haruna Yusuf Wumpani's report for Joy News.
Let's head up north, where residents in the northern regional capital, Tamale, have made a passionate appeal to authorities of the National Identification Authority to extend the deadline for the National Identification Registration exercise in that region. The 10-day exercise, which started in the region last week with low publicity, attracted few residents until the fourth day, when several people heard about the exercise and trooped to the centers. The deadline for the mass registration exercise ended on Saturday, but residents say hundreds of citizens remain unregistered. You're watching the Midday Brief here on Joy News on Multi TV. We'll be back with some more stories. Please stay. Okay, it's time to get into the world of sports. Clarence Kwesi is here with all the details from the world of sports. What's up, Clarence?
Yes, this weekend there was a lot of action in the world of sports. And yes, in the world of sports this afternoon, Midday defeated Kotoko by a lone goal to clinch the first ever major trophy, the MTN FA Cup. Midday annexed the trophy in their third-year history, thus becoming the country's CAF Confederation campaigners.
Like just last week, Midday probably no fault of theirs, and they would want to at least, let's see, like I did tell you earlier on, they lost it to Accra House of Hope in the President's Cup, and I'm not sure they would want to lose the chance of the hustles and the Beverly of ladies. And Alhaji MND Jawla raises the MTN FA trophy. There it is.
He will put it on his left foot and send in a deep cross. Impong goes up. So does Augustine. Well, I thought it was Augustine who had...
He hasn't been a happy man because he thought that probably by now, because of the way they are playing, they should get something out of it. But I think that it is Mediama who look more angrier in this side. And
will Sulama clear the ball out, but of course, Michael Hellegbe lays on a pass to Richard Impong. He would love to drive from afar. And Montari Tego equal to the task. Whatever his plans are, we can only wish the best for him. Here he comes again. Kafui Hellegbe lays on the pass. Ooh! This would have been a typical run, spot, or side kind of goal. But he missed out completely. Michael Hellegbe did well, so very well. Corner kick swung in, but they set it out by Enter. Hans Kofi said that they didn't go too far. Amos Frimpong hooks it back into the 18-yard box. And it's a chance for Kotoko, fortunately. Gordon lines up a drive and fires an awkward bounce. Another kind of bounce.
The FA Cup trophy is no mean achievement, please.
And the fans again applaud at the tidy clearance by Rashid Sumaila. But this time it's Augustine Sifa. Decent chip. And they should have targeted them to go!
And that goal separated the two sides. We wish Mediama FC the best as they represent Ghana internationally. And to Kotoko fans, we wish you better luck next time. Moving on to other stories. A football administrator, Lawal Ganiyu, polled 147 votes as against Nana Budu's 17 to win the Eastern Region FA chair. He will represent the region at the GFA Executive Committee post.
What happened at the election ground? The Congress came, we organized ourselves, we informed our members our schedules. At the end of the day, I think 172 delegates maybe attended the Congress. At the end of the election, I had 147, Nana Buddha 17, and maybe that is actually what happened. When we look at the figure, you know the disparity is very wide. And I'm confident with whatever I've received as a vote from the members of the Congress.
I'm not happy. I'm happy that today has come for the elections to come on. But I'm not happy because the way the election was conducted, due to the fact that my contestant, my opponent, was not qualified to stand with me today as per the order of the court. He has not presented his account.
And Manchester City lost 2-0 to Super Sports in South Africa.
Now let's do showbiz, and one of Ghana's representatives at this year's Big Brother Africa The Chase, Sally, who is 25 years, is expected to touch down in the country hopefully by the end of this week. Of course, you would know that Sally has been embroiled in some controversy in the Big Brother Africa Chase game, and of course we are just hoping that the controversy will not follow her down when she gets down here to Accra. Of course, it has issues to do with her boyfriend Prior Tete and all. We're just hoping that Sally will get home soon and safe to clarify the air. But away from Sally, let's do some other showbiz stories. Inspirational gospel singer Danny McClurkin, with the support of Nigeria's Uche Agu, South Africa's Mthunzi Namba, and some Ghanaian gospel artists, set the national stadium on fire with the presence of the Holy Spirit during the Ghana Stands in Worship concert. It actually took place over the weekend on Saturday. So in case you missed out on the concert, we were there, and we will be bringing you bits and pieces of the highlights of the Ghana Stands in Worship concert. Of course, it was headlined by Donny McClurkin, who is a renowned U.S. gospel artist. He's a 3-time Grammy Award winner and has also won multiple awards across the world. And also we had some of our local acts, including Cecilia Marfo and No Tribe, on stage to support the act. So we will be bringing you footage from that shortly. Meanwhile, Police in Vancouver say the award-winning actor Corey Monteith, star of the hit Fox TV series Glee, has been found dead in a hotel room in Canada. We take a break. We'll be back shortly. Well, we'll be bringing you more of those details about those showbiz stories later in our primetime bulletin at 8. But before we go, a second look at our top stories. University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has threatened another strike if government fails to pay their 10-month salary arrears. They actually say if the arrears are not paid by the end of this month, they will not be in the classrooms when school resumes next semester or next month, August. 500 residents of Obom in the South municipality have been left homeless after a private developer demolished their place of abode. Members of Parliament have agreed to have only 13 persons serve on a transition team when an incumbent president is re-elected. Many thanks for your time with us here on the Midday Brief. My name is Nia Krofis Matabe. Do stay tuned to Joy News for some more stories. Good afternoon.